Good morning. Welcome. I just realized I forgot to check my microphone. Let me just do that quickly. I hope you're having a great morning. For joining. So wherever you are, the best place to start is with the breath. Or somebody once said the best place to start is where you are, which is pretty clearly good advice. Starting where we are. So nothing to push away, nothing to grab onto. So how do we get there? Well, that would be grasping. There's really nowhere to get. And nothing can truly affect pure consciousness. So I put this quote up from the Pratyabhijna Hridayam, and if there's any Sanskrit scholars, please put in the comments below, correct me if Pratyabhijna Hridayam is not the way to say that text. A wonderful text. So Chitti in Sanskrit, it's an aspect of God, you could say God. So Chitti yourself descends from the plane of pure consciousness and becomes whatever the mind perceives. So it contracts according to the object perceived. So this is a way out of thinking that you need to still the mind when you're meditating. It helps to bring peace because we're not placing our worth on the achievement of certain goals. We become aware of everything is God, and it is manifesting right now in what we put our attention to. So I often in Calm Warrior use the metaphor of the ocean, and it would be crazy when the wind was blowing to try to flatten out the waves somehow. The waves are just going to be waves. But if you dive down deep enough, you find the calm underneath. So it's a useful metaphor to explain this quote. I will take a moment just to say this will be the last live class. Here, Katie and I, Tuning Tree, this is our income. We've been closed for in-person treatment since March 13th, hoping to open June 1st. And we get that it's hard time financially for many, many people. So we've just been offering our classes for free. Next week on Saturday, I'll start offering it on Zoom, and it will be, you can access it through our website. You could like us or follow us on Facebook, and then you'll get the link. And we won't charge a lot for the class, but we need to be able to make ends meet. Yes. That's part of Dharma, is providing for yourself and your family. The other thing I wanted to say is that, so this is a class for the spine and the mind. So we will do some centering, we'll do some breathing, we will bring some awareness and some movement into the spine. And at any point, once you feel you've warmed up and you've got your foundation, go rogue, go you, do your thing, and just turn me off. However, whatever you do, always end up with Shavasana, all right? Because it's very important to integrate. And you can use this quote as your contemplation for your Shavasana. So Chitti herself, I'll read it for real this time so I get it correctly. Chitti herself, descending from the plane of pure consciousness, becomes the mind by contracting in accordance with the object perceived. What are you perceiving So for me, I'm almost finished my preamble. We'll get on to moving soon. For me, I've been working on embracing my weaknesses. So it's natural for us to play to our strengths, but often, at least for me, in the efforts to do that, I stop seeing my weaknesses, or I don't want to because it's uncomfortable to have that level of self awareness. So because playing to our strengths feels kind of juicier because we're feeling more empowered. However, real power comes from embracing our weaknesses and realizing that, and as Robert Bly said, our strength is in our wounds. Realizing from that well of acceptance of who we are, however we are, actually rises even more power, arises more peace, arises more presence. So I would encourage, if that resonates for you, to embrace your weakness, however you perceive that weakness. And in your Shavasana, contemplate this, that it really is all God. And with that, I want to acknowledge Sadhguru Nath Maharaj Ki Jai. Anything that I have of value comes from my guru. Wow, I say that publicly now because it's not cool to have a guru anymore. And if you wanted to know more about why I would say that, you can ask me in the comments and I may describe my experiences. Guru Mai Chidvalasananda, and through her, Baba Muktananda and Bhagavan Nityananda. Also, if you're looking for readily available source of peace and inspiration, Mooji, Mooji, you can access all his satsangs, all his talks for free. And if you want clean water, go to the well. So that's where it all comes from. So what else? If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, we'd really appreciate it. And of course to Facebook, really appreciate that support, because as I said before, this is, we sustain ourselves. All right. Breathe. You're just bringing the attention of your breath internal now into your own felt sense. Become aware of what's going on. There's really nothing to do per se here. It's simply to notice what's already happening. You're sitting. The surface you're sitting on, you're breathing. Notice your breathing. And notice your thoughts. There's no thought that you need to grasp or hold on to, and there's no thought that you need to turn away, to push away. They're simply there. The mind has contracted into this individual self and is now perceiving in this way these things. You tell the ocean into a cup, it's still the ocean. It's the same water. So no thoughts to push away, no thought to. But to notice from the sense of the observer, from the place of the observer, all these things happening within you. And in breath work and asana, we invite sensation in order to get our attention, to give our mind an anchor a place of focus. So allow your breath to deepen, but not forced. So the inhale comes in deeper. Exhale out long. Simply to notice the sensation of the deeper breath. Notice on the exhale, there's a sense of settling, of sinking or dropping, resting. So allow that sensation to be complete and include all the muscles of your body. Your face can relax, and your shoulders. Let your feet relax if their toes are clenched, your belly. So on each exhale, just allowing that settling to naturally occur. And notice on the inhale now, how there's a sense of lifting up. Allow that lifting up to happen, maybe right through your spine. Like the inhale's helping you to elongate the spine, balance the head on the shoulders and the neck, right through the crown of your head. It's like unkinking a hose so that the inhale can travel up your spine from your sitting bones right through the crown of your head. So this will be our meditation just for a few more moments before we begin moving our body a little bit more. On the exhale, allowing all the tension to drain away as you ground down to the earth. And on the inhale, energizing the spine, running the inhale energy from the base of the spine through the crown of the head. And notice the completeness of this moment. Everything is always available in the present moment. There's nothing that is available in another moment. It's always right here, right now. Good. So this may be your yoga for the day. You could turn off the video and sit in quiet meditation for as long as it served you. And if you would like to continue on, let's move now without disturbing any piece that you've discovered within yourself to all fours. Very familiar warm up. Hands are right below shoulders, knees are right below hips. Press your fingers into the mat. A great cue from Ian Finn, Blissology, is to create that palm arch to help protect the wrist. All right, so become aware of your breath here. And on your inhale, stick your tail in the air, allow your belly to drop and look forward. That's the inhale. And on the exhale, tuck your tail, drop your head, send your back. That's the exhale. So the inhale looking forward, tail up, exhale getting round. And back and forth in your own rhythm. Now you might be different, but in these last couple of months, I've been finding a more gentle practice is what I need to find some calm and to stay centered and grounded. So I have adapted the Calm Warrior class to reflect that. Focusing on the mind and the spine, keeping it simple. So back and forth in your own rhythm, feel what you're doing while you're doing it. All right, come back to neutral. Pause there. Stabilize your trunk by imagining you're about to blow your birthday candles out. It's like a little pressure through your midsection. And then from that foundation, lift your right arm, thumb up. Maybe your left leg goes back. Breathe. Feel that long line between your fingertips on the right side and your sole of your foot on your left. Breathe. Keep those fingers pressing into the mat in your left hand. And back to the mat, making the transitions as conscious as the destinations. Ground down through the right hand, fingers pressing, left hand comes up, right leg goes back. There is no rush here. You look at Jay Brown's practice or Megan Curry's practice. Many teachers, you'll find that a slow, mindful flow brings a lot of presence and safety to the pose. And come back. Left hand presses, right hand reaches, left leg reaches, bend the left knee, find the foot. Nothing fancy. We're just opening up the hips, the shoulders, and the spine. So kick into that hand. And when you release, release without a spring, so those muscles have control of that leg as it comes down. Ground down through your right hand, left hand reaches, right knee bends. Reach around, find that foot if it's available. Kick into that hand. Everything's complete in this moment. The masters talk about the play of consciousness, that this whole world is like the game of God. It sounds kind of weird if you think of it one way, but if you think of it another way, it enlightens and release that leg, bring it back down. We're going to go to child's pose as we usually do. Right after that, bring the big toes together, knees wide. Look up to the top of the mat, sink your hips down. You can even, with your hands, press. So then you feel how your hips will come down onto your heels. And then once they're there, then slide your hands forward. Child's pose. So this is an active child's pose because we're still warming up. So what are we doing actively here? We're keeping the elbows off the mat and reaching high to the mat with our hands. We're dropping the hips back. And now as we inhale, we're breathing into the side ribs. So feel that breath flare the ribs out to the side. And now take a moment to acknowledge that which is greater than you. That force that makes your heart beat. And that force is making your heart beat, so that force is within you. Good. Now drop the forearms, come forward, and come into a plank. So toes curl under, or you're on your knees. Okay. Shoulder blades, this is more not a large motion, but the idea or the feeling of pulling your shoulder blades towards each other, towards the spine, and down. Breathe. And now lower your pelvis to the mat. We're coming into Sphinx from our forearm plank. And reach your heart forward. Imagine your heart and your chest coming through your arms. Even if you're or inflexible, you could still feel that motion of your heart coming forward, leading with the heart. Nice gentle back bend, no pain here. And then lift your hips up and come back to all fours. It's kind of where we started. And then your one hand length further away. Down dog, toes curl under, hips up and back. So you could pedal it out, weight and straight in one leg, and then the other. So as you do that, you might also feel like you can access those side ribs like you did in the child's pose. So as you weight and straight into one leg, you can shift your hip over to open up those ribs. And then settle into a bent knee down dog. Breathe. And look to the top of the mat and make your way there with your feet. And when you get there, stand up, reach up, look, and hands to heart. Press your thumbs into your sternum and feel your heartbeat. All right, we'll do 3 rounds of sun salutation from this place of presence. So inhale, reach up. Exhale and fold over. Halfway flat back, reach through the crown of your head. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Press through the fingertips to protect those wrists and shoulders. Inhale. On the exhale, lower down, elbows go towards the feet. You can hover if you like. Inhale, cobra or up dog. I went straight to up dog. Whatever you want to do, whatever you feel good with. And down dog. Few breaths here in down dog. And make your way to the front of the mat. And when you get, stand up, reach up. And hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. And fold. Go with your own pace if my cues are too fast or too slow. Long back, halfway. Pull out your hands, step back to plank. Take a look at your elbow creases and turn your inner elbows forward so your back elbows go back as you come down to the mat, and then peel your heart up and off. into up dog or cobra, and then down dog. Breathe. Nothing more to do here. And make your way to the front of the mat. Reach up, stand up. Right up to the sky, look up at your hands, pull your hands down to your heart. Energy between your palms, thumbs pressing into your sternum. Breathe. And one more round, reach up and fold. Halfway, flat back. Plant your hands, step back to plank. Throw a couple of push-ups in if you need a bit of extra upper body work. Lower on down, maybe you hover. And then peel up into up dog. Again, taking your heart through your arms, leading with the heart. And down dog. On an inhale, lift the right leg up in the air. We're going to runner's lunge or crescent lunge on the right. So bring the right leg up, but tuck your knee right into your belly. See how high up on your mat you could plant that foot before you come up into crescent lunge. Or you could drop that knee. Breathe. Again, your heart is coming through your arms. So the energy of your heart is shining forward. See if you could feel your energetic heart. There is an electromagnetic field that extends away from the heart, and that can be measured. That's not woo-woo. That's real. So see if you could feel that in an electromagnetic field. It also extends in 360, not just the front, really. You've got a back of your heart too, don't you? Don't I? That's embracing your weakness. It's feeling the back of your heart. Drop that back knee if it's not already. Walk the right foot out wide to the edge of your mat, coming to lizard. So there's two hands out of the foot. You could lift your knee up, your back knee up, and then down again if you want a bit more opening. Breathe. Hand on the mat, bring your right hand up on the inside knee, and then spiral from the bottom up. Looking up, drawing a line on the wall with your eyes, ceiling, maybe right overhead, and feel the eyes with the base of your spine. They are not separate things. Part of one being, yes. And release that knee press. Move the foot out of the way so you could plant your hands, getting ready for down dog. Lift the right leg, the left knee up, and then right leg back up in the sky. And back in down dog. So that's our routine. Go at your own pace. You know what we're doing on the left. So left leg goes up and comes forward, but in and up into your spine. And drop that foot as high up on the mat as you can. Come up into crescent. Breathe. If you're getting it out, hoping it's going to be over, enjoy it. If your mind's wondering when it's over because it's too boring, then go deeper so that the sensation gets your attention. If that knee's up, drop it down now, walk the left foot out and bring your hands on the inside of your foot for lizard. Now, if you're more flexible than me, your forearms might be on the mat. Leave your right hand on the mat, bring the left hand up to the inner knee, press it out, and then create a spiral from the base of your spine through the crown of your head, looking up the wall to the ceiling. Keeping that right arm, fingertips pressing, right arm fully engaged, muscles hugging bones of your arm to provide that stability. And come on out, walk that foot in so that you could place your hands ready for down dog and send the left foot back up into the sky and meet you in down dog. All right, walk to the front of your mat. I'm sorry, walk to the middle of your mat and drop down into a malasana, into a squat. So we'll be here for a minute or two. So if your heels are up in the air, take the time just to look around the room or go grab a book or a rolled up mat or a plastic toy or something that you could get under your heels so that you're not balancing up here. We want to feel stable. Inner knees are pressed out by the elbows, tailbones dropping into the earth. Breathe and feel that connection, long line from the base of your spine and your sitting bones through the crown of your head. That's the Sushumna Nadi. It's the hero's journey. It's the movement of energy. It's the spiritual path. It's the cycle of life. All right, so then from our squat, I'm going to shift on my mat. Stay in your squat for a second. Your hands and go back to a plank. All right, press through the fingertips because that's going to give you your brakes and your strength. And also if you're working on handstand, those are your brakes and your strength. All right, so right knee up to the right elbow and back. You got this. And curl up in a ball and back. And right knee to left elbow. Pull your right leg away from the mat and back. Left knee to left elbow and back. Left knee to nose, get round and back. And left knee to right elbow and lift that leg away from the mat and back. And down on your knees and sit back on your heels. Just roll the shoulders. Just let the arms hang. So we're not, pumping the arms like this. Let the arms hang. Let that motion come from the movement of the scapula, the shoulder blades, and then the other way. And then alternately. And the other way. And drop your chin to your chest. And feel that compression in your throat. Swallow. Up. Back to center. So look over your left shoulder. Let your eyes do the looking. So you're look, and then the head comes around because the eyes are looking. And then the other way. Eyes look, and the looking of this rotates the head. And back to center, and drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Keep the left shoulder down because it wants to go with you, yeah? So we'll just let the head drop over and then the other way. And come back to center. All right, so we're gonna get back in our plank, fingertips pressing, and we're gonna work on flying lizard, if you so choose. Fingertips pressing, right knee, remember that, comes up to the elbow, but bend the right elbow. It becomes like a platform. Now your left elbow, bend it too and drop your belly onto, or the front of your left hip onto that. And back. And then try the other side. So left knee comes to left elbow, let that left elbow bend. Right elbow comes into the point. And back. You can also be in your forearm or hand plank on your knees. And this is developing the shoulder strength to do arm balances like that. Or you could have toes curled under and be in your plank here. And let's all meet back up in plank. And now bring your left hand right into the center of your mat. So this is a straight line, your left arm, right underneath you. Outside of left foot, we're going to Vasisthasana, side plank. And then right foot might stack on top. Come to your side plank. This right foot can also come forward to support you. Whatever gets your attention into the moment, but is doable, that helps you be here. And come back, and we're going to do the other side. So right hand outside of right foot, left foot can come forward, left arm reaches up, or you could stack your feet, lift your hips. And come back and sit on your heels. And give your shoulders another roll. So we accept our weakness, but in order to accept our weakness, we have to be aware of it. And it's always awareness, acceptance, and then action. So it can be uncomfortable to see our weakness, and asana practice is simply one aspect of, obviously, of our practice. We see our physical weakness, but we can also see our mental weakness, our emotional weakness. And as we do that, then we accept it, and that gives us a bigger foundation. All right, so from here, I don't want to do anything too fancy here. We're just going to get a good balanced hip and spine practice. So come up into your plank. There's that plank again. And we're going to pigeon on the right. So just bring your right leg up. So knee bent, your lower leg parallelish to the front of the mat. And come up into king pigeon first. So press with your fingertips or your hands into the mat to get a bit of a back bend here. There's a feeling of your hips coming forward and down like that. You could turn those back toes under, and that will give you even more of that lift. Pelvis forward and down, and spine forward and up. Feel. And now fold. You could stack your fists, hand. Breathe. Move into the space that opens up. All right. Slowly unfold out of that, sending that right leg back up into the sky and meeting up in down dog. All right, left leg reaches and comes forward, pigeon on the left. Come into king pigeon first. So lower leg parallelish to the front of the mat. Pelvis comes down, right leg goes back. Come up tall, pressing through the hands or the fingertips. Gentle back bend, heart coming forward. Pelvis coming forward and down, or forward and horizontal to the floor. Spine up and forward like a jet taking off. Imagine the breath coming through the spine, from the base of the spine, right through to the crown of the head. And now slowly fold, lower down. As always, if your knee says no, it's no. And don't do this pose like this, lie on your back, do a figure four, and then pull in to stretch the left hip. So just soften and have the guts and the focus to become fully absorbed in this moment. There's never any next thing. It's always this moment. Allow the sensation to take you on a journey within. Gently move into any space that's created. Slowly come out of this by planting the hands if they're not already, and curl the back right toes under if they're not already, and send that left leg up in the sky, meeting up in down dog. right, so walk your feet forward to the middle of your mat. Sitting, feet stretched out in front of you. A couple of breaths here in staff pose. So quads are contracted to straighten through the legs. The soles of the feet and the heels are pressing away from you. Your sit bones are down on the floor. Your spine is long and your reach is through the crown of your head. Now for a nice simple back bend, you can let the knees bend a little bit and just slowly come forward. I like to hold, either I bend my knees enough so that I can hold my feet to take my hip flexors, to turn my hip flexors off. If you've got lots of flexibility, then you can just flop forward in a forward fold with your legs straight. You can bend your legs, hold onto your legs or your feet, and just come forward into a nice, simple, surrendering forward fold. That as you drop your head, it can increase the stretch in your low back. It's because all those tissues are continuous through the occiput, the back of the head, all the way down your spine, attaching on your pelvis. So feel that interconnection of all your back body muscles, fascia, nerves, nervous system. All right, nice. Slowly come on up. And we're going to go into deer pose, I believe it's called. So bring left heel in to your perineum and then your right foot back. So you're like this. So it's like half cross-legged and half W sitting. All right, so your left foot's into your perineum, your right foot is in behind you. Bring your hands over to the left and just come into a twist. So your forearms might go down or just your hands. Let your spine tell you where that twist is. Your spine is sending you signals, sensation signals to tell you its state. Listen to those. And back, reaching on your left until you a really nice twisting opening in your simple is good. Breathe into your right side ribs. So as you inhale, you're expanding that out. As you keep walking your hands long and to the left. All right. So slowly come on out of that, pushing with your hands back to neutral. Now we're going to cross the other way. So bring heel into your perineum. So you're half cross-legged on that side. And then your, let's say right foot comes to your perineum, left foot back. deer pose. And then reach over to the right. Drop your arms or your hands down, just so you get that beautiful twist through your spine, ribs, hip. Not forced. If you force, flight to protect you. It's not that the fight or flight response is wrong or bad, it's essential. But if we want to find ease, we just hang out on this side of that response where the sensation has your attention, but you're not hoping it's over, hurting yourself, or just gutting it out. Just soften here. If any space is created within yourself, move into that space, inhabit it. Good. We're slowly coming out of that. Back to center. And we're going to make our way onto our backs. Now, we have 1 minute before Shavasana, because we don't want to rip ourselves off of Shavasana. So I'm going to recommend lying on your back, bringing your knees into your chest, just to balance out the spine from that twist. And from here, shoulder stand is in your practice, then go for it. But please don't look to the side and check me out as you're in shoulder stand. Just look at the ceiling. If there's any neck pain, come out right away because it's a shoulder stand, not a neck stand. And if that doesn't feel correct for you, happy baby or a bridge. I know I'm a teacher, I'm supposed to give you something to do. And so there's 3 things to do, you get to choose. So shoulder stand would be legs in the air, hand or hips, and feel that reversal of fortune. Or you could be in happy baby, soles pointed at the ceiling, knees coming down into your armpits. Wherever you are, breathe, enjoy, and feel. Chitti herself, descending from the plane of pure consciousness, becomes the mind in accordance to the objects perceived. So you're in your shoulder stand or your happy baby or your bridge. And then slowly coming out of that, coming into your Shavasana. If you're not ready, and complete the rest of your practice before Shavasana. If you're ready for Shavasana, let your heels point to the bottom corners of the mat, your back body drop into the mat. Let go of control of all your muscles, almost like a master switch, and you do. And you could just turn that switch off and that switch, taking all effort out of those muscles, allowing them to rest. So paradoxically, embracing our weakness gives us greater strength. Let the muscles of your forehead go slack and all the muscles around your eyes are soft. Eyes drop and rest into the backs of the sockets. Your jaw slack. Heart easy, open to the sky. Pelvis soft and fluid. Legs heavy and resting. Letting go of your breath. Feel the vibration of and in and around your body. Sadhgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Peace.